Because like when you get those things in your head where you know you're supposed to be working on something and you know you're supposed to be doing something, and until it is done, it takes up the space in your brain and you just can't really rest the way you want to rest or think the way you want to think. We think we're cutting corners, and we're really just making it way longer on ourselves. There's a quote that says, if you ain't willing to take the time to do it right, what makes you think you're going to have time to do it twice? Make sure that you put everything into everything that you're doing right now while you have time. Work smarter, not harder. I love you guys. I hope you have a great day. What's going on, Facebook? Y'all thought I was gonna bring y'all in one at a time like last week, did What's going on, Facebook? All right, so it is another evening, another glorious Sunday evening, and we are here with Dr. Susu, my family right here, Dion Success Jenkins. We have, wait a minute, hang on, wait a minute. Shalithia?
Yep, that's it.
Look at me. Okay. All right. We got Ebony Willis and we got Megan Marie. What's going on, everybody? We had Tina. Ooh, here comes Tina. We had Tina's eyes for a little bit. Then we had her forehead for 5 seconds. And then here we got Tina. She made her whole face. Oh my goodness. All right, so tonight what we are doing is having conversations about different situations that happen in relationships. Last week we did kind of like a round robin of ideas. Everybody came with an idea and we talked about each idea for a little bit. But tonight, because it kind of just like, it was like a weed last time, it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. So we was on here for over 2 hours. So we're going to try to solidify to about an hour tonight. But it is a good topic. It is a very good topic. And the topic tonight is, I think Megan Marie says it best. Megan Marie, can you unmute yourself and tell me what the topic is tonight?
Tonight is when you start relationships. When is it best to share your junk? When is it best to share what you've got going on? You know, your kids, dating, introducing. Like, how long do we keep it new? How fresh? All of that wonderful stuff when it comes to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
The getting to know each other.
And that, I was going to say, there's a lot to be told. You know, it's like we really want them to know it. A lot of us, you know, put people through interviews, you know, trying to figure out things about them, asking probing questions, open-ended questions. But we're also trying to test them to see how much of ourselves we can share with them. Like, are they ready for this? Or, you know, try to, you know, drop little hints of certain conversations and see how they lean down that avenue and stuff, just to kind of see, like, is this someone who's emotionally mature that can handle me? Is this someone who is a good enough conversationalist to even be able to talk about things like this? Are they comfortable with their own feelings? Are they willing to share with me? So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I just want to know, like, everybody go around, first of all, reintroduce yourselves. Tell them who you are, some of your passions in life, and y'all know how to do it. Just like y'all first rodeo. Go ahead, somebody go first. Somebody go first.
All right, I'll go first.
There you go.
Me. All right, I'm Megan Marie. I'm a counselor and I'm a life coach. And on the question, I am in a relationship.
Hey, go on, Dion. You right there. You just grinning. Dion just grinning. Go on,
I'm Dion, aka Success Jenkins. I am the CEO of Travel with Success Travel Agency, and that is my passion: traveling and helping people successfully navigate this world of travel because it can be convoluted at times. And I am successfully single still.
Hey, on the market. What's up, Dr. Sue? Looking out glowing like that.
Hey, I'm Dr. Sue, and I am the Mind Mastery Architect. I am a life coach, spiritual based, and I help people break through their limitations so that they can achieve their greatness. I am not in a relationship, but I'm in love. I'm just saying. I've been in a few. I can tell you about some situations, so I'm excited to be here.
Oh yeah, situationships. All right. What last time you had your name on the screen? And what did it say? CC?
I still have it, CC. I still have it as CC.
Okay, I must have that option off tonight. I must have done something. CC, perfect. Your turn, girl. Tell them about yourself now.
All right. My name is Shalithia, formerly called CC. I am a nurse. I also work for a healthcare company at home, and my job is just to mainly, uplift and encourage other women. I have a story to tell, so like I say, hey, I can't say I'm single. I can't say I'm taken either. I'm dating around. I'm trying to see what it is. So, that's where I'm at.
There's a story there. All right, we have Ebony with us, aka Joynetti.
Hey everybody. So I'm Joy Natty. Um, I do inspirational speaking, mental health advocate, I'm a children's author, and I just love being in communities and conversations like this. This is where I thrive, and I love that we can have this type of conversation in a safe space because I wouldn't feel comfortable just anywhere. So this is great for me, and I'm currently single and open. The heart is open. So
The heart chakra is open. Yes. All right, Megan Murray. Oh wait, you started, didn't you? Never mind. Tina, whoa.
Tina Wolf in the house. Oh, am I in there? Oh, okay.
You in there, girl. You
I see myself underneath the thing, so I'm like, am I in there or not? I am Tina Wolf, bookwithtina.com, helping people with their relationships with family, friends, coworkers, romantic mates, and most importantly, helping them with self-love. It's what I do. It's what I feel like I'm good at, and I share the information that I have as I'm learning and growing. And you know me, I love to tell a good story, so that's what I got for y'all. Okay.
yes, you do. I know we're gonna get at least one tonight, But I think everybody need to share at least one good juicy story tonight.
Baby, the juicy story just happened less than 24 hours ago. So, yeah.
Oh wait. Oh wait. I know everybody got one up their sleeve, and Dr. Sue got one on her spaghetti strap, honey. We got stories tonight. All right, so the topic being, how soon do you tell the stuff? We all got stuff, right? So yeah, I know some of us are parents, some of us have divorces, some of us, have trauma, some of us have habits, some of us have little ticks and quirks, and all those things that makes up who we are. I'm 2-year-old. Okay, whoever is with me have to deal with a 2-year-old. Like I am a 2-year-old in an adult life, doing adult things, but I just like to have fun. I like to have fun. I like to have a good time. And if it's not a good time, I think that's really a good way to always stay aligned. Just, are you having a good time? Because if you ain't, hey, it's time to do something different. It's time to make a change. It's time to do something different. But that really translate these days into a 2-year-old. Because people think, oh, you're just all over the place. I'm like, yeah, because I didn't want to be there. You know, I'm not going to wait because you wait 2 and 3 and 4 years to make a move. That ain't me. You know, that's just not me. Because a lot of us stay in a lot of relationships, a lot of jobs, a lot of situations way past their expiration date. And we mad because it smelled like it spoiled. Well, it did. It spoiled when you decided you didn't want to be there. You didn't want to do it. You didn't want to be it. You didn't want to say it no more. You didn't want to live it anymore. That's me. So that would be my baggage. You got to know that, hey, I'm moving and shaking it. And if it ain't right for me, baby, I'm gone. Okay. Goodbye. All right, Dion, give me something. Give me something, Dion.
It's a lot. It's a lot when you get to know someone new. So like, I'm not going to be the type of person that's going to like throw like this whole bag on. Here you go, sift through it and figure what you like and what you don't like. If you like something, let's talk about it. No, I like to take my time to get to know them and space it out. It might start off with the easy stuff like your likes, or your comments, your goals, things like that. But I'm always going to be interested in at least one deep conversation, one piece every time that I connect with you. And as we go through the time, then I'll start releasing more and more, because throwing all that on one person at one time is a lot.
All right, so I got a question specifically for you, and anybody else can jump in whenever he answers. Look, he already blushing. Y'all, I can tell. So do you think that, or how soon do you think, or do you think it's even necessary to tell someone about your previous love interest?
Definitely not at the very beginning. Like the very first time we meet, or the first like 2 or 3 times that we are hanging out. But if it's something that they ask me, I'd have no problem telling them. But I don't think that we should be focusing on the past if we're trying to build something at the present.
So if they ask you, you tell them.
I tell them. Look, I'm an open book. I don't have any issues with that. It's not something I start my conversation with. Like, guess what? I got this X, that X, and this is that. They're in the past for me. I'm trying to focus on you, trying to get to know you. So as you get to know me, you'll learn about them. It's going to come, but it's not going to be something that I'm going to be like, look, here's my list, and I pull out a big piece of paper and go down the list.
Santa Claus list. He checking it twice. What was you about to say, CC? Was that you about to say something earlier?
Yeah, that was me. You know what? I see a lot of women. They tell everything when they first start dating. Everything to the previous men. That is the wrong idea. That is not. No. I'm gonna tell you how I do. When I date somebody, we're not gonna talk about my ex. We're not gonna talk about the high school sweetheart. We ain't talking about none of that. I want to know what you like, what you thinking, and how your conversation gonna be. Mm-hmm. That is it. Then on that month, that next month, probably 30 days, that's when we gonna start kind of blending it out. Okay, what is your interest? What do you see yourself? 2-3 years? That sort of thing. But telling everything in the first beginning, no.
Okay, so I'm gonna rebut that real quick, and then I could tell Dr. Sue was about to jump in there. I could tell you, I don't know. So you say that, and I completely understand what you're saying, but eventually, do you even think it's a conversation that needs to even be had?
Of course. That's why I say you have to. You can't just give it all at one time. It's just like giving a whole piece of cake without even slicing it. Day by day. It's not. You just gotta take your time with it. Just like a guy. I had one guy, we talking on the phone. For a good 30 minutes, he was talking about what his past did, and I had to stop him. I said, wait a minute. I don't want to hear about nothing about your ex or what she did to you. I said, did you know you spent 30 minutes talking about your ex? Red flag for me. Couldn't talk to him. I said, you are not healed. You are not healed yet. You're not healed to date. You're not.
You're
not healed. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's so. What was you gonna say, Dr. Sue? What come through, Dr. Sue, with your energy?
I with Glenn, Dion, and Cece, right? I think it depends, right? When you connect with someone, it depends on how you're vibing. Like the person that I connected with, we had a 5-hour conversation, and then we had an all-night conversation. So we were
Mhm.
all over the board. And now, honestly, it well, his past came up, mine didn't. But if it had come up, then I'm an open book. And at this
Yeah.
point, if my past is a problem for you, then we need to know that. We need to know that earlier rather than later. Because if it's a past, if it's a problem for you, the past is the past. I can't change that. If that says something to you about who you think I am, then we need to talk about what that you think that means for you. And then I need to decide whether I'm going to expend any more energy.
Yeah.
True that. True that. Okay, so let me ask. That's right now. Oh, hang on. I'm gonna mute you right quick. So that's right now, right? But you also have, you had your son when you met uh people after you had already had your son. So what about that type of information? When you're dating and you have a child, at what point do you bring that up? Is that something that's immediate? Because I know for a lot of people that's a deal breaker because it's like, hey, if you can't deal with my kid, I might as well tell you that first. Or some people are like, let me get to know you so I don't even waste my time even having the conversation. So where do you stand with that?
My son and I were a package deal.
That's right.
You want
Hmm.
me, you got to want him. You don't want
Yeah.
him, I'm not interested. And so I'll
Yep.
tell you that straight up in the beginning. I am not, my son's deceased now, but as a child, nobody takes precedence over him, especially if I'm just meeting you. And even when we are into a relationship, my son is still going to be his own person, and I'm still going to prize him. And if that is a problem for you, then that's your problem. Because me and my son, we like two peas in a pod.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. So perfect interview. What you thinking, Jordan?
I totally agree. Same exact thing for me. That's probably one of the first things I want to mention because I'm a mom first before any relationship. Outside of that, it's like uh, it's not even a thinkable thing for me. If I can't First of all, I don't think I would want to date anybody that hides their child from me. I don't think that that's something that should be kept a secret. I think that's very important. Um, for me, I do.
You're be like, what son? Like, what?
6 months later, I'm finding out you just got a kid. I'm like, wait, what? What? That's the issue. So yeah, that's right away for me. Yes, I'm a mom, very happy, proud mom. So,
What about you, Meg Marie? Because I know you're in like a new. I ain't gonna say new because it's not new, but it's a newer love. What are your
mhm.
thoughts on that? And I want to hear from you, Tina.
I got a lot of on all of this.
You said you want
So
to
when
hear
it
from
comes to
me?
kids,
Oh, sorry.
I'm
After
not
that.
talking about my kids in the beginning. My kids, I'm dating. My kids aren't dating. Yes, you need to know that I have kids because I mean that's a part of who I am. But you don't need to know any information about my kids until I trust you. You don't need to know anything. You're not going to meet my kids. You're not going to anything. I've been single for basically 6 years. My kids have met one person in 6 years that I because none of the relationships went anywhere for them to go into it. And I think that is something that's kind of wrong in society is like so many single parents, like their kids are dating along with the parents and, they're constantly meeting all the people that they're dating or, bringing home or anything like that. And that is not healthy. That's, abandonment issues that create so many different things. So for me personally, no, I'm going to make a foundation with you first. Let's get to know each other and different stuff like that. Now I am also because guess what? I'm 43 years old and I don't hide about that. I'm not wasting my time not telling you about different things in my past or different things that are going on. I'm not waiting 3 months to be like, hey, I had a, trauma infused childhood, and everything like that. You need to know all that stuff now. Lay it all down on the line, what your expectations are in the beginning, because I ain't wasting my time anymore. I've wasted so many years when it came to relationships, a 10-year, failed marriage, everything like that. We either vibe or we don't vibe. If I don't feel it, then we ain't going on.
Yeah, I agree with all of you, because at some point, everybody is in a different point of parenthood, different points of relationship status. So I mean, it all makes sense. I think it's very much so, transferable depending on what your situation is and where you are in life with it. What about you, Tina? I know you got kids. What's up, Dr. Sue? You have a little tidbit?
Yeah. Megan took the question a little, in a great way, I think, but she took it a little bit different than the question that was asked. As it relates to whether I would introduce my child to anybody, no, because I believe that children form attachments to the person. And then if it doesn't work out with you and that person, then your child is traumatized. I don't believe in bringing children into a quote unquote relationship that's not a relationship. So with my son, it was a long time before he met anybody. You would know that I have a child. You might even know his name, but you're not going to know anything else about him, and you're not going to meet him until we have had some time to establish a relationship.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes plenty of sense.
Yeah.
What's on your brain, Tina?
So in reference to the kids, my kids are grown. I don't think you really want to meet my kids, because they're all boys, and I am a woman. So unless you're ready to have that interrogation, I don't think you need to be meeting my kids anytime soon. Okay, because they're very up for. They're not even gonna. Oh, hey, how you doing? They're gonna test your grip. Mama, his grip was okay. Mama, his grip was weak. And you're gonna be like, so what are your intentions with my mom? Do you want to have sex, or you want to be married? They jump right in. Okay, they don't. My kids don't play. So I
Yeah.
don't. I did it when you're a boy mom, it's a little bit different. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah. I got three. So yeah.
yeah, they're not gonna play these games, and they're gonna tell you
Mm-mm.
right off the rip after they meet mama, he playing games, he this or that, because men know men, you know. So as far as you meet my kids, no. And my children and I had this understanding. I have raised them this way. Uh, don't bring me nobody home that you ain't serious about. So it's the same rule applies to me. I'm not gonna bring somebody into my children's environment, even though they're grown, unless it's somebody that I'm really serious about. So if I'm not serious about you, you ain't gonna meet my kids anyway. The most you're gonna know is how old they are. I'm not gonna tell you that I have three grown children and I have 9 grandchildren, and that's about all you need to know. You don't need to know their names. Oh, where they live. Oh, where they live here, 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 here. That's it. But I'm not giving you their names and all that. To me, that's irrelevant. And then I think that was CC earlier. I think was talking about when to divulge information, and that sometimes women divulge information too uh, soon, and then uh, talking about the past, whether you should bring up past relationships right off the rip or not. Um, I have this ability of mine where men feel very comfortable. So if they usually the men will ask me, well, why are you single? Right? This is the way of saying how many relationships you had and what was really going on, what's wrong with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way I address it is we just gonna nip this whole thing in the bud, because we're not gonna be talking about the past. I simply tell them, I say, I've done a lot of work on myself, and I said I've been in 4 marriages and 3 long-term relationships, and then I gauge their experiences. I mean their face. If their face is like this ain't for me, then I just leave it there. But most men, when I say that, they would say, "Oh," and then the next question that they ask is, they'll either jokingly say, "Well, dang, what's wrong with you?" or laughingly, but then they usually come around and say, "Well, I mean, you got some experience, so what did you learn?" That's usually what they'll say is, "What did you learn?" And I tell them, "Well, I made a timeline of myself because I've done work on myself. And I'm the common denominator in all these men. So I had to see what was going on. I said, I ain't going to give you all of it, but I will tell you the one thing that I did learn, right? And so, some people say, Tina, this is game. It's not game. It's for real, though. I tell them, I say, the one thing I had in common, some of these men I talked to, some of them I just had to go back and replay some of the things that they said over and over. And what I say is, the number one thing that all those men had in common besides me, because they don't know each other, well, six of them don't know each other. What had happened with the other one was, we're not gonna worry about that. But most of those men do not know each other, and so the one thing they had in common that they echoed simultaneously was that I didn't listen. And usually at this point, when I answer it, they're usually impressed with it, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And usually at this point, they've already been talking. So they've already had the experience of me listening to them. So they know what I'm saying is factual. So at that point, I've never had a man go back and say, well, what happened with number one and number two and number three? Like, I've never had that. The fact that they know that I'm working on myself, that squashes all that. Now, in later conversation, if it comes up and we want to dissect, same thing with them. If they want to dissect, that's fine. Do I ever ask them about their past relationships? No, I don't. And I do agree with, I think that was Cece that said that. Now, if they going on and on and on for 30 minutes, baby, I'm gonna say sexual, so you out of there already. Like you're out, you're definitely at a place where you need some more work. So that's my thing.
He says you out of there, huh? Okay, so my
You
next
out of
one
there.
would be
I think
finances.
Dion, I think Dion is trying to say something.
Go ahead, Dion.
I want to touch.
Go ahead, CEO.
I want to touch on the conversation piece about the kids, because with me being single, I have dated people who've had kids, and the love of my life wanted me to meet their kid the second day that we were together. And I was like, wait a minute, slow down. Let's take the time to build this first. And that's how I feel about it. I think that it is important to tell that you do have a child, but I don't need to have all the information. Like, let that be, as I say, later on conversation as we grow and we develop. We can make sure that we're good, build that foundation before we bring a kid, because I get attached to kids too. So I don't want to get attached to your kid and it don't work with us. And now I'm stuck in this having a child, but it's not my child type of situation. That's not a good situation either. So I think it works both ways on the situation of being the parent and being the one that doesn't have the kids. And even when you have two people who have their own kids coming together, that's another total different situation.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, because being single also and dating people with kids, which I've done. I was married to a lady who had a son, and my last long-term relationship, she had 4 kids. And I do feel like a lot of times people will try to put you in roles that you don't necessarily want to be in when it comes to their kids. And I know that may sound harsh, but you got to know who you dating. And, like when someone who is single is coming to someone who is a parent and they tell you specifically the way they want to be treated in that situation and voice their opinions, don't be upset later when they're not stepping into a role that you want them to be in. That's a big one too. So and that's something that you need to share from being single and not having a child. I always make it very clear the type of co-parenting, I guess, that I am capable of, because I know myself. I know myself, and I know myself very well. And I don't want someone's child to call me mama. I don't, because I'm not their mother. They can call me Carrie. But even if I birthed a child, I always knew I would want my child to call me Carrie, because that's who I am. And I want them to not identify me as someone who is crafting them. I'm just a guide. You know what I mean? I know what my role is. I want to be very clear, because I know that's how I would have raised my own kids. That's how I would have raised my own children, to be completely independent of me and know that glean from me what you can and throw the rest away. So I don't want to ever be put in a position to where I'm someone's mother when I never wanted to be that for anyone. So I think that's very clear, to make sure that you, as a single person, go into it saying this, because there's someone out there who's like, I don't want you to be, my kids ain't calling you mom. There's someone out there like that. So if you're clear about who you are, regardless whether you got kids or not, but who you are and how you want to present yourself to others, I think it's very important to know. Very, very important to know. So, yeah. Anybody else have anything in that area?
Say something
Yeah,
very quick. Just because I know it opened up a bigger part of the conversation. Definitely, I'm gonna let you know I'm a mom. That's
Mhm.
without a doubt. Meeting my child, that's a whole nother situation, like everybody else that says. I have my son, he's 21 years old, and I think he's probably only interacted with one guy outside of his father, um his whole life, that I dated. And I was with that person for a while after I separated from his dad. But that even took a long time for me because coming from like childhood trauma and experiencing things, uh, different abuse and things like that as a child, I'm very, very protective over my kid. Very, very. So for me to have someone meet my son, it's a big step for me. And so I take that very, very seriously because I don't trust very easily. And if you want to meet my child too fast, now I'm looking at you a little strange. 'Cause I'm kind what's really the deal, like so. But I do get it. Yeah, that's I love that you guys brought the single aspect to that because I never really looked at it from that point of view, because it's really good to know what role you want to play in someone else's life that you're dating, and that's a package deal there. When you're dating someone that has children, that comes together. So I really think that it's good to be aware of who you are and what role you want to play with that. So that was good.
Yeah. Nice. Solid, solid, solid. All right. So I know there was one of the other topics I had brought up was finances. Um, piggybacking off of Megan's topic last week, like sexual expectations, like how soon do you sleep with a new romantic, interest? That's a big thing. Most people I've heard so many people say, and every time I hear it, I'm kind of taken aback that they have like an actual number. And Megan was one of these people. I'm sorry, I gotta call you out. That 90-day thing, like it blows me away. I'm like 90 days because I've never ever thought of it as a fragment of time. I guess like you got to make it past this because I honestly couldn't even tell you like some, you know, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't because I really didn't put a time frame on it. So finances, what we're gonna talk about? Finances, sex, where you want to live. That's another one too. Like how soon do you start talking about where we're living? Go ahead, Meg Marika. She tossing her hair around. She ready. She ready.
I'm checking the hair. But so it is funny on the 90-day aspect because I am a promoter of the 90-day aspect for people of, waiting,
Promoter.
do what? I didn't hear.
You're a promoter. Tickle me.
Well, I am a promoter of it because I think too many people do rush into relationships. I really do think like we've come into this society, like we've gone back in like caveman aspect. I like you, you're mine. And like people just like claim it and they like stick to it. People are just like jumping into these relationships so quickly. But I was, the 90 days. Like, if there's any arguments within the first 30 days, the relationship's over. Like, I mean, that's the signs. It's like people who, and I think definitely have come from very unhealthy, toxic relationships need to take the time to do this healthily. And I hadn't, for years before, and I was single and I didn't date. And then this time around, I came back and I started to apply that. And I very much so weeded people out very quickly, having that 90-day aspect in my head. Was this relationship going to go any further? Could I see us building? And having that 90-day in my head, I think did help me. And I think it helped push me along. Now, in my current relationship, did I wait those 90 days? No, I didn't at all. And it's the healthiest relationship that I've ever been in. And we move forward, and it's kind of funny because it's every aspect of kind of what I was doing opposites, and it's all kind of just fallen into place. It just everything. It's the conversations. Now I don't talk a lot about my past. I don't get into specific details and stuff like that. I let people know, hey, this and vice versa, because I don't think those details are very important. yes, they developed us in who we go for. But yeah, I think the 90 days that some people, depending on what your current situation was, yeah, I think people need to have that kind of in your head of where and how. Let's build that foundation. I mean, you go on a job interview, don't you? And aren't you on 90-day probation?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, you are, but it's a system that is so very broken, so it's not a good analogy. I can
It's
tell
not
they
a good
do when you go
analogy.
work, baby. You gotta go.
But
Yeah,
I
how
mean,
many
if
times
it
do I
within
give
those
up and
90
I know you
days,
got to pick up? You know what I mean? Like, but I mean,
So
I
does
do it.
sex always mean relationship? Let me just ask that.
Huh?
Does
oh,
sex
that's a good
always mean
question.
relationship?
Not to me.
No.
Right?
I
Well, I
think
mean, I'm just
well,
no.
what you have to say? Don't say hell no.
I
No.
think for a lot of people, Ebony, though, I think people do think that.
You think a lot of okay? You think a lot of people think that sex means relationship? You do?
I think a
Okay.
lot of people do.
I think a lot of women think that, but I sure as hell don't. Sex just means sex, and sometimes it
Eon,
means lust.
Eon,
It
what you
means
think?
that
For
it
me,
means I'm
I
feeling
don't
myself.
believe
It
that.
means
For me,
That's right.
in my mindset, it's two separate things. For me, one is not mutually exclusive to the other in my mind. But I know a lot of people do get into that situation where they start seeing someone they like them and they equate because they had sex that now they're together. I do know that they do that a lot, but as far as like calling it a relationship, I don't know if it's a relationship, but it is some type of sexual ship.
Well, I'm gonna say
It's
because
a
that last little analogy
situationship.
you made, that's called entrapment. Okay, that's called entrapment. That's not a relationship. That's entrapment. Just because I had sex with you, if you, because I've been there. We've all been there. When you know good well y'all was just kicking it, and then something happened, and then you're like, what?
Okay, this is what I want to say. I've tried both. I've tried let's wait, and then I've tried the first night or the first couple weeks. I think that to me there is no rhyme or reason as far as sex goes. I don't I don't think for me there's like a time frame. I know uh I know that I've been raised to where the thought process has been if you sleep with a man on the first night, then he gonna see you as a whole. He ain't gonna never take you seriously. But there's a couple of them that I did that with, and I did end up marrying them. So or ended up in relationships with them. So I can't really go by that. And there's some that I've waited on and I ended up in a relationship with them. So I think you just have to go by what is good for you and what vibes for you. Um, Now I will say, now that I'm in my 50s, um, I have been a little bit more selective. I don't want my body count going up high, but that's a personal thing. So I just rely on a couple of my resources, the same one. You know, as long as we all single, I'm cool. Um, but as far
Pause.
uh,
Did you say that you kept sleeping with the same person just so your body count would go up?
absolutely, absolutely, and they already know what I like. I know what they like, and we have understanding. So there's no point in me having my body count go up when I already have two people. I was trying to say resources. It's two. Okay, it's two. Well, I already have two people that know what I like. There's no point to me in adding to that. So I'm like, okay, well, let me do it this way. If it's somebody that I beat, if somebody that I like, then let me go with the vibe and let me see what is it that we're going to get to know each other. Because lately I've been doing this thing called pay attention to your intuition, right? And when I pay attention to my intuition, usually right off the rip, I'm going to feel something where I'm not quite connecting, and I trust that, and it usually
Mhm.
it shows itself very quickly, right? Now, what I will tend to do, which I think I'm not going to say that. I'll say what I tend to do is if I decide after my intuition has said, and I decide to move forward anyway, I make sure that I have an understanding with myself that this ain't going nowhere, right? So is this for entertainment purposes only? And I just say this is for entertainment purposes only. You know what I'm saying? For entertainment purposes only. Um, and that's how I go about it as far as the sex is concerned. So for the last since 2020, right? Because we are family here. I've had the same. Okay, it was three back then, three body counts back then. Okay, but the major two have always been there. But I added one in 2020, but he out of state, so I say in state with the other two. But I had not added to my body count since then because usually I'll go out, and by the time I go out with them, it's divulged to me. So I don't even waste my time. I just take all that frustration back to my resources. Um, as far as the finances, y'all laughing at
What are
me.
your resources? What are your resources? What is that?
My resources,
Tina
those are
is
my.
low for me. Is she low for everybody?
Yeah, she low. I can hear her, but she
I'm like,
low.
I want to laugh.
Because I had to put the Bluetooth back on because when I took it off a speaker, I cannot hear y'all.
Oh, okay.
So y'all just go. Okay, I'll speak up a little bit, and hopefully y'all can hear me. So my resources would be the two human beings, and then the other resources would be the electronics, and then always number one,
Oh, okay.
myself. Okay, so those
Okay.
would be the resources, right? Because all three of us know how to satisfy me.
That
Hey,
brings up so many different questions for me.
I didn't even get to answer the financial question. Go ahead. What's your question?
The first question is, why does body count need to? Why you? What is the concern with your body count being not going higher? So you don't have to
Because
say it. Who
I
you?
don't want to
Who you?
give
Okay.
myself. I don't want to
Let me
give
tell you why
myself
I'm
a
asking.
title that is
Let me
not
tell you why I'm
deserving.
asking. I'm
Okay.
gonna tell you why I'm asking because what? Who are you telling that you care? Who knows the count? Who are you telling? And why are you
Myself,
telling? Okay.
myself,
Okay. Fair
and
enough.
some of
Fair.
my homegirls, which we don't, none of us care, but but for me, it's like, okay, it's an experience of having sex with somebody that I don't know what your sex is like, and then what if it's trash? And then I have no connection with you. I don't want your trash dingling. I don't want it. So, and I don't have a connection with you. So, no.
Why did you?
These are facts. These are why do I want to add to my body count when I have two perfectly good human beings that know me inside and out? They don't be on the
Yeah,
roster
I
for
mean,
a
I
while.
do get that. I do get that. I
You
do
know,
get that. I guess I
Yeah.
just
so
yeah. So if you met someone
yeah.
and they looked at you
Mhm.
and you just knew, you wouldn't even, you're not, now my body count, I'm good enough. I'm gonna go back over here to this penis and no,
Okay, let me.
don't
Okay,
satisfy me.
okay. Since we family, we be honest. I will say this. I since 2020, I had not added to my body count until last week. Okay, but his mouthpiece was good, so I feel like he knew what he was doing, and I was right. My intuition was right. It was so on point. But I went into it being open, and it was good. And but then we had a moment where I was like, oh, this is what it is. Like I because it was something that he had said, And then he tried to recant it, and I was like, no. So at that moment, I was like, if I continue, this is gonna be for entertainment purposes only. If I should continue, and I did. I continued for another week, and then I was just like to myself, this is not what I want. I already got two. I already got two human being resources for that. So why do I want to add another human being resource for that? Although it is nice, but I don't need more resources. What I want is a marriage, and what I want is a marriage. So notice I didn't say long-term relationship, we hanging out and go. No, I want marriage. So I want something that's going to lead to marriage. This is not going to lead to that, because there's a part of me that once he said what he said, that connection was severed. I severed it right then and went immediately into it is what it is, and this is for entertainment purposes only. And then earlier yesterday, it ended. He's gone. It's over. And so I contacted my other resource because I wanted him to, help me get my juju back since I'm already here. The thing about having two of them, one of them is always going to be available. So
somebody else to chime in. Okay. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say.
And
But
they don't come in. They don't come in and this or that, or was you sleeping with somebody else? Or did you go on a date? No, we come in. Hey, baby. Oh, you so good to see. Oh, you look so handsome. Oh, yeah, come here. And that's it. Like that's it. There's no, the only question they got for me is, am I staying or am I going? Because if I don't feel like it after we done, you got to go. And sometimes I be wanting to cuddle and stuff because human touch has been a while. So then I'll be like, you can stay. You can stay. So.
oh my
So
go, Ebony, please go.
I just have one question. No, two questions.
We got questions too.
First question is,
I'm ready.
well, I think you kind of answered it. They're okay with being the resources.
Oh yeah.
They know. Okay, they're okay with that.
Years,
what will happen if
and everything?
Do you grow attachment to these resources? Like do you really leave yourself open to meet somebody else and be able to step away from that resource?
Oh yeah. We have an understanding. Yeah.
So if you meet somebody new and you really like this person, or you've been with this person for a while, you're not gonna want to go back to that resource eventually. Like, you know what? Dang, I'm missing this person.
I just don't call them, and I just don't talk to them.
This is good.
We could go months. We could go this last. Okay, so the one resource, it had been like almost 2 years.
I need some resources.
2.5 years. And then
old friends with benefits.
She got more resources than me.
No, he's not even my friend. He's just my
struggling.
I'm just saying.
He's my understanding. He's not even my friend. So after 2.5 years, I was like, "Hey, boo, I need that tune-up." He's like, "Yeah, hell, been a while." He's talking about where we meeting at. Do I need to get the spot? You need to get the spot? And I'm like, "Yeah, you get the spot." So.
I think if you teach a resource master class, you got 6 students right here.
Resource master class.
I'm like,
who's gonna sign up for a resource master class? Who's gonna sign up for that?
I just want to say this.
They need to.
Listen to that reminded me back when I was in college, and it was like a group of maybe like 5 of us. We call ourselves the boys, and we used to have notes like. And it was kind of like we had the concept. It wasn't, most people have like the black book where they have all the names of everybody, whatever.
Exactly.
We took it a different direction. It was more or less like, we had a list of, like she said, if you want to cuddle, these are the people who are good at cuddling. And we categorized people at what they were good at. So when we needed those things, we went to. But I never thought the idea of calling it resources. But yeah, I like that. That was.
Anybody ever seen the L Word?
Yes, my
Huh?
favorite show loved it back in the day.
That's
He
the
Gory.
came out with it again.
that's like kind of like the chart. Like they connect people, see who people have been with, and then they like talk like, oh, you been with such. And then
Yeah.
different people would gain different nicknames. Like there was like
Mm-mm.
Pillow Princess or the Squirter or like,
Right.
I need to get out the house.
Bad.
so
Bad. That's that.
that
I be
brings up
sad
about
when they in a relationship and I'm not, because now I ain't got access to the money.
oh,
So
see, yeah, and that's the other thing. Then you lose your resources. Okay,
yeah.
my
So then
other
I got to
question
depend on
is
one.
in
But
a
the one, he's
relationship.
always available though.
So he ain't gonna be in. No, he said he ain't gonna be in a relationship.
Oh, he got divorced and he has kept true to his word. He said, I will never get in a relationship or marriage ever again. So he lives his life every weekend traveling. If he's not traveling and he's in town, then he's cool. He go to work and he travels and then that's it. And then he have, so
So why not be together? Like, why not?
I don't want to be single. I don't want to be with a man that wants to be single. He
No.
wants to be a resource, so I'm gonna let him be a resource. I'm gonna accept him just as
Yeah.
he is. I don't want to change nobody. Those that when I
Oh,
told
he
y'all about them
wants to be the
timelines,
resource.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I don't have a problem with it because I've gotten to a point in my life where I have, my mama used to say this to me a long time ago, and it didn't really click until I hit like my 50s. It didn't click. But just to say, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And the problem is, I used to see who people were, and then I would want to change them to fit my needs because I wasn't working on myself.
Right.
So I don't want you, if you don't like bowling, it's not my job to make you like bowling. It's my job to say, oh, do I want to be with somebody that don't want to bowl with me for the rest of my life? And people will be like, well, Tina, but there's all these other great things. Yeah, but bowling is super important to me. So I don't want to spend my life trying to convince this man to bowl with me. And if he does go, then it's begrudgingly. He don't really like it. And now I'm going to feel a certain way towards him. But I tell you what, if I did decide to be with him, then he going to have to be cool as a fan with letting me go bowl with everybody else. Because
You got
if
that right.
you don't want to do it, you better be okay with me going. Now, if we reach that agreement and you cool with that, then I'm cool with that. But I have to decide: am I okay with going bowling with everybody else and not him? Is it going to make me feel a certain type of way? If I'm going to have instant
Yeah.
resentment, then you know what? I'm sorry. Even though you got 99.9999, but that bowling is important to me, and that's not something I want to do for the rest of my life. And I relate that to travel. I want to be with a man that wants to travel. Not, oh yeah, you can go anywhere you want. No, I want to be with somebody that wants to go with me. So even though you got $10,000, you got a big house or whatever it is that you got, that's cool. But the thing that's important to me, that you're not doing with me, I gotta let you go because
Yeah.
I believe there is someone out there that's gonna match that. So no, he said he's single. He don't want to be. We don't even talk about relationships. Like I told you, only thing he wants is you want to tune up, when and where. And I'm okay with that.
Tune up. That's
Like
a
it.
good one.
I like it.
If it hasn't been a long time, then it's just an oil change. Yeah.
What is the difference? Oh, wait. That's a whole nother topic. Like, you know, how do you classify? Dr. Sue, you be grinning all the things over there while she talking about these tuna. Nah.
I
Tuna,
love
oil
that you
changes,
are so self-aware and so confident. And I love that you have resources and you lean into them when you want them. And when you don't, you go on about your business. I love that. So I am loving this conversation and congratulations to you. And I'm going to take a page out of your book.
Oh,
I'm
thank
telling
you,
you,
darling.
you
Thank you.
got six students
Yeah.
right here. Well, maybe not Megan Marie.
Oh,
5 students. And she
I
got
didn't
her.
hear what.
I said you got your own resources.
I do have a 24 access resource. Yes. Very
Exactly.
as far as the
Like,
finance, my thing on the finance is I feel like eventually it's gonna show itself. with the last person that I just, getting to know you process that we had, I found it interesting that he is a very flashy person, very flashy and all this kind of stuff. Very nice apartment, all the great things. We decided to go to the store, and since my car was in the visiting parking spot, he was like, "Let's take my car," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Now, keeping in mind, I've had this test before. I'm gonna call it a test, okay? Because I've had where men have like 2 or 3 different cars, and they got the raggedy car to see if you're gonna say something, and then they got the real car, right? So when I get in this car, this car is like about to fall apart. The door hinges are, you know what I'm saying, like when it open, and I mean it's just crusty, dusty. The tag has been out since the registration been out since March last year. This don't fit. You know what I'm saying? And so when it don't fit, I want to say you must have quit, but I don't know what to quit means. But it don't fit. So you flashy, you got all this stuff, but it don't. So to me, I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna pretend like this is a Rolls Royce I'm rolling in. Because if you're gonna show me eventually what the real thing is. And so we go to the store, we come back. I don't say nothing. And in my mind, I'm going, this don't match, right? Because all the other things that you're talking about, you're doing. I've already saved up for a house. I'm about to get a house. I'm about to do this. The things that you're showing me and that you value in your apartment and how you are, the type of watch you wear. Ain't nobody wearing no expensive watch, and then you finna roll in that raggedy car. Stop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like when it comes to the finances, I don't really need to ask your finances right away. Whether if you have a good income, some men are going to tell you about it, and some men are going to show you. The ones that actually want to share their wealth with you, they'll do that, and they'll show that to you. So for me, I kind of just chill with the finances. I don't be like, oh, what you do, or if you ask them about their career or what they do, I feel like sometimes you can't even go by that, because somebody could be a security guard or somebody could be a truck driver, but you can't say, oh, I ain't gonna date them because they this that, because you have in your mind what type of career they have and what income that could be. But the whole time this person may have over 6 figures in the bank, and this person may like to travel and do things. Not only are they not conservative with their money, but they like to enjoy their money. So you just have to kind of ask the right questions with finance. So with me, people feel like I'm a billionaire because I'm always on the go. I'm always traveling. So I feel like that's something that
I feel
comes
like I'm
later.
kind of weird when it comes to finances. I am a fan of keeping finances separate. Like your shit's your shit, my shit's my shit. If you want something, you got all the account numbers, you got the passwords, the name on the account. But your money is your money, and my money is my money, and I do for you, you do for me. We come and meet in the middle. We get groceries. If I'm going to the grocery store, I'm just going to the damn grocery store. If you're going to the grocery store, you go to the grocery store.
I agree with
I
that.
don't even understand why it even matters. Like
Yeah.
I just don't feel like it should even be a thing. Like not even a prenuptial agreement. If I'm dead, like what the fuck I care what the money goes to. I mean, I'm gonna be upset because the wrong person got the money. I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna care. But as far as like the mingling and blending and stuff, for me, no. I don't even
That
care.
assumes that you are already in a relationship. What if you are just beginning to quote unquote date, or to see each other, whatever it is you're calling it? When do you have conversation about finances? Do you want to know my FICO score? Do you
No,
want to know,
I don't think that matters. No, I don't think that matters.
No, I wouldn't. And I
Mm-mm.
understand why a lot of people do though, but they also don't think the way I think. And I don't think there's anything wrong with how anyone thinks. I don't think that there's a right way to think. I think there is a you knowing who you are and what you value and where you're going and what you're building, and that you want someone to be alongside you doing those same type of things in their own God-given way, and it's going to be prosperous regardless. And I'm not going to be intertwining my energy with someone who is ever going to come down to money. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't come down to that because that's not what I am doing. That's not why I'm here. Will we have it in abundance? Absolutely, but we'll have everything else. And when it disperses, it disperses. I know I don't have to have a will because everything that was left that was mine will be in such good hands that I'd be amazed where the money went. You know, that's how I think. But I know, but I also don't have kids. You know, and that's a big thing, you know, like especially with finances when it comes to children. Like you have to know that they're going to be taken care of. You have to know that they're going to get what's rightly theirs. And I don't have that. You know what I mean? I just don't have that.
I gotta really know you. I gotta really, really know you and really trust you. And I say that having been married twice and divorced twice, with two different men who I tried to be the quote unquote the good wife, to have allow them to have more control. Nah, nope, no. Ain't doing that shit no more. So I want to know. I want to know about your FICO score. I don't want to know. I'm not going. If we are dating early on, I'm not going to ask you about it then. But what I've observed is that if you listen, a person will tell you what their information, things that they say about how they spend their money or what they spend their money on. And if you go out with them, whether they are offering to pay for you or they have an expectation that you're going to pay for yourself, these kind of things speak volumes to me. So I am constantly, I find that I ask fewer questions and I observe a lot more. And I listen very intently to what it is that you're saying, because there's always an underlying message. What is the meta message to what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I am, what I say is that the mouth lies, but the actions never do.
That's right. That's right. And so you mainly have to look at it like this: if they're dating with intention or being an opportunist anyway, because they're gonna really try to look at what you have, and then you trying to, me. I sit there and I look and I listen. The actions always speak. You can always tell how somebody's financials are. And this whole thing is not about money. It's about, you're dating with attention. You're trying to get to know people, and the money can come later. But all that's gonna tell it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
So
something I was looking at too. I know when I'm getting to know someone from the very beginning, I'm the Dutch king. You pay your side, I pay my side. We're not going to be taking advantage of each other like that until we get to a point where we're comfortable in understanding that. And in the process of doing that, I'm watching how you're managing yourself, not just your money, but your actions. Are you always, well, can you come pick me up? Can you drop me off? What is all that you're bringing, with that energy that you
yeah,
have? And that makes a lot of sense to me. And then also going into what you said, are you dating intentionally looking for that, or are you dating for fun? You just want someone to hang
yeah,
out with. So those things matter. If we're just dating for fun, my finances are off the table. It doesn't matter what I have. But we're dating on a situation of trying to really make something build a foundation and trying to really get to
yeah.
know each other. Now we need to start talking about those things, because that's something that's going to come into a very important point to the next level where we're trying to go.
Yeah, because you don't want to date somebody that you got more money than they do, or they don't know how to budget their money. Let's say, for instance, if a guy, he's over 51 or even probably 50, he don't have a 401k or no money in the bank. What can he give a woman? Like, what can he do? And you're trying to date at the same time. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I do get it. I just don't agree. Absolutely don't. I just don't feel like I'm going to intertwine my energy in anyone I'm going to have to worry about when it comes to money. That's why
Yeah,
I'm a component of your money is your money. So it can never even cross your mind that that's my intention. It can't
yeah,
even be a conversation because that's your shit. And if you need me to come and support you make more money, I'm there. I'm on my way. I'll probably be there before you are, quite
yeah,
honest. You know what I mean? Because I mean, what? Because why? For me, just keep your all of it. And I'm gonna try to, and I'm gonna help you make more of it. And I want you to help me make more. Let's have a race. Who can get to 1 million first? You know what I mean? How about that? How about that? You keep it in your account, I keep mine in my account. Golly, we'll just take turns, about paying for a vacation. let's go Dutch that way. You know, I don't
Yeah.
do that. That's what I'm talking about going Dutch. Where you taking us this time? Well, I'm gonna beat yours last time, and let that be the healthy conversation about money. That's the kind of conversation I want about money. That's
Yeah.
right. Race to a million. Yup. That's the
Exactly.
conversation. Yeah.
Um, you know, I really wanted to see what everybody's perspective was with this because for me, in this dating world right now, it's kind of like I'm so sick and tired of hearing about the table, what this person brings to the table, what
Yeah.
it's gonna bring to the
Yeah.
table. I don't want to
It
hear
gets
about
on my
it. I'm
nerves.
sick of it. It's kind of like it doesn't even exist. It's not a real thing. Please, like for me, these things are not important. Like I just kind of feel like who are you? You know, what kind of soul do you have? What kind of person are you? If we some catastrophe happens somewhere down the line and we're dead broke, are you going to leave because now you can go find someone else that has the table? Like I don't understand. Like I just kind of feel like it needs to be more than I don't want to talk to you about my finances when I first meet you. I don't want to know about yours either. I don't want to talk about that. It's not important to me in the beginning. Now if we're talking later on and we want to make investments together or we want to build on something together and it's a reason to bring that up, then okay. As long as you have goals and you have aspiration and you're not so worried about, I had a guy this is funny. I had a guy tell me just recently, it was a good friend that I knew for years. And he said to me, I want to be the broke dude. Like I want to be the guy that the girl is taking care of. Like, and I'm just kind of like, I just don't understand what is that about today. Like he's like, it exists, it's out there. I'm like, is
He
that
really actually meant that.
I said, is that really what you do you really mean that? Like, is that really what you mean? Like, and he's like, yeah, he's like, it exists. He's like, I'm tired of spending my money all the time or whatever. And I'm thinking, well, maybe it's the women that you date, like, but for I couldn't get past that he even said it, right? And first of all, it's not attractive. It's just kind of like, what is I don't understand this way of dating now, right? They have like these lists of, oh, you have to spend this much money on a date and you have to do this and you have to do that and you have to like it's just kind of like, what is this all about, right? And to me, I'm a outside of the box type of thinker, right? And for me, I'm just kind of like, I feel like it's so much of a fear-based time that we live in, right? A fear of like survival and just fear is involved in everything. There's no love involved anymore in connections. That's how I feel. Because for me, I just feel like, why is dating so hard right now? Why is it so hard for people to find a partner and people to really have a true genuine relationship and not worry about if this person can take care of me or if you could take me out and spend this much money on me or a date or it's just kind of like, what in the world? Like, we could go walk in the park, right? I'm okay with that. We could, and don't think that I don't like nice things. I love nice things, right? I love to travel. I love to do nice things too. But it's not a material thing for me. Because if we couldn't do that, I would still love you too. Right? So that's the kind of thing that really matters to me. I don't think that I would want to discuss that at all. If definitely not in the beginning. Definitely not in the beginning. In the beginning, let's get to know each other. Let's have a foundation of who we are first. Because I want to see what your soul is like. Because I don't care what your pockets is looking like. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you could be the flashiest, wealthiest thing walking down the block, and you could treat me like a piece of shit behind the doors. Like, you understand what I'm saying? I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother always told me, you be very careful about a person that wants to throw their money at you. You know what I mean? There's something behind that. It's not a true thing. What do you really want from me? Do you want to control me? Do you want to control my life? Do you want to control who I am? I'm too free for that. I want to be as free as I can be. You know what I mean? I want to be me. And if that's not, so the money exchange for me is all energy, right? And there's like that book I read, Happy Money. from Ken Honda, right? And it speaks about happy money and good money and energy that comes along with money. There's a lot of greed today, I see, in people, and there's a lot of things that come along with that. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
we
I
have
don't,
to say,
I
hey,
don't.
can we grow together and make money together? Of course, yes, but don't look to me to be now like, oh, she's got this going on, she's got that going on, she's got this. Can she take care of me? No, I don't want
Yeah.
to take no.
Yeah, you got a lot of men that has a mindset of scarcity, a lack of, what is it, scarcity mindset. So
Yes,
so
yeah.
they so burnt out of dealing with women that had a hand out like this right
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
And then they get with the woman that she's self sufficient, she got her own money, and it's like, okay, let me see if she's gonna do like she did. Like let me see how far she gonna go. You
Well, I
know.
mean, say this real quick, and I know Megan, you've had your hand up to say something, but we are in a season of dominance of feminine energy in general.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
lot of men that's having to, in their mind, swallow their pride, but in my mind, go with the flow that's flowing because that's just the tip that's going on right now. It really is the tip that's going on right now. If you ain't noticed, look around. You
yeah,
know that
yeah,
song, Girl Rule the World? Well, they grown now. You
yeah.
know, when we're singing the Girls Rule the World, they grown now. Like, we here. It's just undeniable. We're just here. And that's just kind of like the world we're living in. But what was you about to say, Maggie?
But I was going to say, kind of to piggyback on what Ebony was saying, I think a lot of in the relationships that we're in, I think people confuse love and business.
yeah,
When you're too focused on, I think, the money aspect into the relationship, are you in a business or are you in love? Are
Hmm.
you growing up the potential of the love of building that? Or is it just the business and it's just the money and is it conditional? I only love you if you have this. I only love you if you can provide this. I only love you if you can do this. That's not
Yeah.
love. Now,
that's
many of
right.
us have been trained in society that, yes, that is how love is supposed to be. But the reality of it is, I think people are also waking up to that. And no, money should not be the main focus in any type of relationship. That's where the problems become. That's where the problems start in relationships. It's got to be the love. Can you be in love and abundant and be broke?
Yes,
No. Oh,
I
you
think
think
so.
yes?
I
You
think
can
I
be
can be in
love
love
and
and be
abundant
broke.
and broke,
Say it and be broke. You said.
but love, abundance, and broke.
I don't think money has anything to do with that.
I think they
I
go
will
hand
tell
in
you
hand.
something. I'll say this. I grew up very I'm not gonna say very poor because we had, right? And
Right.
it was some of the most happiest times I've ever seen. And when I started my medical field journey and I started to be around a lot of people that had a very wealthy lives, doctors and lawyers and mingling and things like that, and networking with people. Some of the things that they complained about, they lived in such misery. And I thought to myself, wow, I thought if you were rich and wealthy, you were happy all the time, right? Um,
Yeah.
and I learned that that's completely not true. And
Nope.
I seen love with people with some people that have absolutely nothing and they are happily in love with each other. So I do believe that yes, you can be in love and abundance to me is not just money. Abundance
Well, see,
means
abundance
so
to me is
many
the
other
love and the
things.
happiness. So therefore, you
Yeah.
can't be broke.
Mhm.
I mean, it's the perspective. I don't take it as the money aspect. But no, I mean, you're exactly right. My childhood was that way. Like my
Mhm.
mother's family was, from the poor side of the tracks. My father's was the rich side of the tracks, and we didn't mingle. My father's side of the family, though, I mean, they were angry, unhappy, miserable, people. And I did feel love as a child from my grandparents, but otherwise, there was no love ever. Where I always felt the love was with the people who had nothing to offer me, the people who couldn't buy me anything, the people who couldn't, spoil me. those were the people who actually spent time with me because that's what they had to offer. Their time was the value, their hugs. Like I always say, like with my grandmother, that was the greatest hugs I've ever had. And the amount of love that came from that woman's arms was worth $1 million to me.
Yeah.
I
totally agree.
I would say this. I want you to have money because your money make me come. And I say it that way because
Wait.
She said your money makes her come.
money make me come.
I thought I
It's my new
I don't know what I'm gonna do with Tina.
and I say that because no, I have no desire to be with the broke. I have no desire to be with the broke, and I have no desire to be with a man that has money but don't want to share it. So
Exactly.
when you share your money with me, you also sharing an experience with me, and that gets me excited, and that makes me want to come. And you want my vagina, so since you want my vagina, then you will want to help me to get excited. There's no
Oh
way
my
to help me
God.
get excited. And you gonna get my vagina gets excited when you pay for experiences. If we're gonna fly, flew me out. I will love getting flued out. Okay. If we're gonna go on a road trip, let's go on a road trip. If you're gonna buy a gorgeous meal and you're gonna be in the kitchen and you want to cook for me, or you say, baby, let's come cook this together. And to me, money is a part of the appreciation. Because baby,
Yeah.
with my money, I want your money to have goals. I don't want you to just have money because I've been with a man who stacked his bread on me. Okay, like I ain't talking about no couple of $100. This man got thousands of dollars. You done stack it up, but you complaining about paying $15 for a hamburger meal, sir.
Yeah.
But you got
I agree with
tons
you
of
on that.
money in the bank. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go nowhere. Why you don't want to go nowhere? Because vacations are expensive. But sir, you got six figures in the bank. I don't understand. Help me understand. You want me to, and then you wonder why you dry. You know why I'm dry? Because money makes me come. And you're
Listen,
not doing
but,
what you're
but
supposed
can
to
we
do.
agree? But can we agree though that none of that has to do with money?
Nothing. It
I
don't
was
have
gonna.
nothing to do
I
with
have
We
a.
it.
just have the
None
perfect
of
I
that
ratio.
got
really
to
need to know.
It has everything to do with the money because the money is helping with experiences. Do you have to be rich to be able to make me come? No, I can get excited and come off of the 50-cent card that you bought me with some $5 roses. Okay, it's a thought that counts. But if you don't have no money, you don't want to spend your money, you don't want to share your money, you have no goals for your money, that do not get me excited. What get me excited is what you're talking about, what you're doing with your money. Because I've been with, like I say, I've been with the broke, and I know what the broke don't do with their money. And what they don't do with their money is share it. And what they don't do is go outside the box of thinking. So to me, the two have to be connected together. So if a man says, "Do you care about my money?" I said, "Do you care about me coming? Do you want a wet vagina or do you want a dry one? Which one do you want?" Because I'm pretty sure it's gonna make your enos hard when I do something for you out of the kindness of my heart or when I spend something on you. Most men that I have dated, and I'm hoping this will change, but most men that I have dated, they're not used to having women to spend the money on you, or they have the same experience that I've had before. I've had men spend tons of money on me, but then you don't give me the affection. So to me, the money should be an extension of how you feel about me. So yes, I want you to have money and I want you to make the right decisions with your money. I don't care as long as the bills are paid. And this is one thing I've always said: as long as the bills are paid, I don't care what you do with the rest of your money. That's your business because the rest of my money gonna be my business. Period. So
So I
I
have a
no,
question.
I'm not gonna say I don't want you to have money. It's not about, when I did grow up, my mom used to say that, oh, you have a man with money, you gotta watch them because they want to control you. Well, I kind of want you to control me to a certain degree by controlling the experience, but by giving me positive ones. control does not always have to be negative. You know, my favorite word control definition is the power to influence a person or a situation. So if you have the power to influence me, to get my vagina wet, to make my heart happy, to give me chills, to give me butterflies, to make me feel good with the use of it, in addition to you being the right type of person that's natural for you, make me come. Let's get it. Have your money together. I don't want no broke.
So,
Tina, you very sexual.
so do you ask these questions when you meet somebody? Is it like, 'cause that's what
said, do I?
we talking about, right? Like, so, well, for me, I know that like I'm not gonna just be in any environment when I'm out mingling, right? I put myself in certain environments, so I know I'm gonna run across what I'm attracted to, right? And my thing is though, when you meet a guy, do you discuss that? Like, do you have that conversation with him? I'm curious. I really want to know.
If I do not bring up finances, but if he does, absolutely, absolutely. If he brings it up, absolutely. I don't
So
mind.
what you say? Like
I don't
what you
mind
make?
telling you.
I'm like,
If he wants to know how much money I make, I tell him I make enough money to travel. I make enough money to date myself. I make enough money to pay my bills and my utilities without asking you for none. What do
No,
you
but do
want
you
from
do
us?
never
you
had a
ask
guy
him? Do
ask
you
me how
say how
much
much
money I
money
make.
you make? Do you say
You
how
can,
much money you make?
no, I tell him what I have enough money to do.
No, I'm asking you. Do you ask them?
Oh, do I ask them? No, I don't
Yeah.
ask them. No, I don't ask them because they
So
usually
if
end up
y'all
telling me
okay,
anyway.
good. So if y'all dating and you feeling him, he feeling you, y'all having a good time, y'all got having a good time, and you realize that maybe you expected him to have more than what he had,
No,
is that a deal breaker?
I don't go by what he after like a first date.
No,
If that
no.
makes
I'm
sense.
talking about
Oh,
y'all been kicking it for a couple months.
if we've
And
been
you
kicking it,
realize
he's
he ain't
gonna
got
show
as
me.
much as you think.
If it's not about the amount, it's what he does with it. If he's showing me what he does with it, and while we're speaking about our goals, when he tells me about his goals and I tell him about mine, and then we talk about the goals that we have together, that's going to tell me where his money is. I don't need to know that. Are you budgeting? Are you putting money aside for these things? Because if you are, it's going to tell me. If I say, baby, I want to go to Dubai next week, and you say, we ain't gonna be able to do that. Okay, I'm gonna say, well, why can't we do that? And then he's gonna tell me why, you know. Or if he say, man, you crazy, you want to do that, but he might be like, shit, when you want to go, that's gonna tell me everything I need to know. I mean, if you know me, you know I'm a spontaneous traveler. You may see me here today, and then you be like, Bettina, you was just in Dallas, and now you in Vegas. You was just in Vegas, and now you back in Oklahoma. Wait, you was just in Oklahoma. You was over here. You don't know where I'm gonna be. So to me, I don't have to ask you direct questions like how much you got in the bank, because your actions are going to show me what you make and how you spend your money. And that's what I choose
Mhm.
to pay attention to.
Okay, so I get what you're saying because honestly, it seemed a little extreme at first, but you basically just saying you ain't got
I still
you
want your
don't
money to
have to
make me
be
come, though.
stacked. You don't have to be stacked. You just gotta be good with your money and include me in on your money.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta be generous. Gotta be generous.
That
That's
makes
Yeah.
right. I thought
I've
you
been
was
with
literally
men that
going
make
in their water like this and be like,
figures.
nope.
that makes sense.
I've been with men that have
That
make six
makes sense.
figures, but they broke. Because they spend all their money on, literally. I had a man I was with, you make six figures, but all your money is sitting in the closet on all them Jordans that you was ordering 2, 3 a week. And then when I say let's go to Miami, you tell me it costs too much. You, bro, you got $15,000 sitting in the closet. See, that don't match. So you telling me you making 100,000 means nothing to you.
Mm-mm.
Nothing. What are your goals? What are you
Listen.
doing? I need a man that's like, baby, you want to go to Miami tomorrow? Let's go. You know, I mean, period.
Yeah, well, we have to say the rest of my question for next week because I'm going to throw anybody else got anything they want to say about the topic of the day before we wrap up, and then I want y'all to think if any topics came up for y'all for us to throw out there for next week. 'Cause I got a couple of them. Because some of my questions still didn't get answered with Tina. Anybody got anything else to say about anything, any topic that you would talk to, like your new romantic interest? Like, anybody have anything else? Dr. Sue? Megan?
I want to explore next week. I want to explore this topic of resources.
Yeah, resources. Yes, resources.
Yeah, I'd like to explore that a little bit more.
Yes, ma'am. We got to talk about that some more.
And do you tell the people that you date that you have resources? I'm curious.
Next week.
You can't tell them that you cannot tell them you have resources. No.
Next week. We're going to do it next week.
Yes, I do.
We all grown.
So you tell them that you have resources.
If they ask me, yeah.
This is deep.
Because let's be real.
Did you see Tina's face on that, Ebony?
If you are sexually active, I'm gonna automatically assume off the rip that somebody is sexually active and they got somebody they messing with. That's good. You ain't got to mess with me because you got somebody you messing with. I can take time to get to know you to see if that's what I want. So usually what'll happen if I do say that to the guy, he wants to know what he can do to be uno. Okay, well, we're going to see if you make it through the gauntlet. And most of them can't make it through the gauntlet.
I'm out of the game.
But to me, I feel like you're going to find out anyway. So,
I think where the connection is lost for me is that you assume you meet someone that they're sexually active. Does everybody else assume that?
What?
Nope.
That if you meet someone
I know because I'm sexually active. And
you know
usually
what?
that person's sexual active energy, I can feel it off the rip. So if I don't feel any sexual energy, then okay. But anybody that's attracted to me, baby, your sex drive is high, and I feel it. I promise.
I got you. That does make sense. Because you're attracting that. Because that. Oh, got it.
So if you're celibate, do you tell that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because
I haven't had sex in a very long time.
Yeah, I was celibate for a while.
So you should share if you're celibate. Y'all would share if you're celibate too.
I would.
Y'all have a little.
I'm a firm believer. All women.
Y'all need one of them green dots. Y'all need one of them green dots. This is all my details.
But being that I'm celibate doesn't mean that we might not journey down that road. It just means that this is where I'm at right now in my life. You know, I mean, I'm not celibate now, but when I was, I didn't have any problem with sharing that.
It makes for interesting conversation.
Anything. I just don't feel like it's necessary, I guess. You know,
my thing is,
hold up, I'm celibate. Don't.
Unless they ask. If they ask, then I oblige. Because to me, I want to be with somebody that I can keep it 100 with. I don't want to play games. Right. I don't want to hide. So if I can't even be honest with you and upfront now, and another thing is, I'm a terrible liar. I cannot remember what I told you. Okay, so I want to stick with the truth. You know, and I don't.
She's not a terrible liar. She's just forgetful.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to I don't like playing games. You know, now if I feel like your motive, because again, everything I'm gonna do is intuition based. So if I feel like you're asking me because there's a certain motive, no, I'm gonna check you right then and there. And then I'm gonna say, well, why are you asking? And then I'm gonna feel if you lying or not. You know, because again, I'm learning to trust me first. A lot of, and this is something I learned on my journey, is that people will say, man, I don't trust other people. No, you're not trusting yourself because your self is going to tell you. So I don't
100%.
I don't trust these people anymore. I say say, Tina, are you trusting yourself to make the right decision to bring this person into your life? So for me, I can't blame that on somebody else. If somebody uses me, it's not because they use me, it's because I allowed them to use me, because there's something showing me. Just like I said earlier about the one dude. After we had, matter of fact, while we were during, he said something, and immediately my energy said, eh. And that was it. It was over. It turned into entertainment
Yep.
purposes in the middle of the session.
Yep. In there.
So you gotta learn to trust yourself. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And it's okay if I have a one. If there's one, but like, oops, dang, I missed that. Okay, but I'm not gonna miss it again because the one should have been enough. So it's not that I'm not trusting other person, it's that I'm not trusting myself. So I can't ever be mad at somebody else unless it's by force. And I'm never gonna be coming from a place by force. I'm talking about by choice.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah. Yeah, well, we gotta discuss the resources next week further though, because I still got questions. I mean, we even touched the surface on something. He still ain't touched. I still have questions about resources because, I, yeah, I got questions. But anyway, all right. Any final words, everybody? Let's go around robin. Go ahead, Dr. Sue. What final words you got for the people? Anything? I know what you want to talk about next week, though. Are you muted? Unmute yourself, lady.
Can't hear her.
Mm-mm.
We
We
can't
can't
hear
hear her talk. We can't hear her talking.
I said, I just want to remind everybody to be self-aware. People will lie out of their mouth, but they always tell you the truth because, again, they can't keep track of the lie. So you
Yeah.
have to learn to listen attentively and focus
Mm-hmm.
on the behavior and get out of your head in terms of thinking about the potentiality. He could, she could. No, 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 no. All you have is right here, right now. This is what you see is what you get. So don't lie to
Yeah.
yourself and then be mad at them saying they made you do it because they didn't. You
Mm-mm.
didn't.
No,
Just say,
no.
You got
You
that
can't,
right.
you can't fall in love with potential.
Oh my God.
What's up,
Who can't
Dion? You
fall in
got
love with potential? I did many times.
Yeah, I just want to say that as you go through your journey, you have to have an open mind, but open eyes and open ears. You have to pay
Yep.
attention to what's going on in front of you, what's going on around you. People will
Yeah.
tell you what they want, what they think you want to hear, and they'll do whatever they think they got to do to get you. But you got to discern, the truth and sift through all that stuff and say, you know what, follow your instincts and understand that your instincts are going to lead you to where you need to be going.
Yep. Use that discernment.
Meg Marie?
It's people need to take some time to themselves. I think right now a lot of people need to stop wanting to be in relationships, and I think that was the smartest choice for myself, honestly. And getting to know your own intuition, your own gut. And I realized that through so many, I went against myself, which goes back to what Tina had said about the trusting. I used to be one of those people all the time who said I don't trust other people, and I didn't trust myself. And so before you get into a relationship, or before you even start a relationship or start dating, work on that self-trust, work on that self-compassion, work on
Mm-hmm.
trusting yourself, because when you trust yourself fully for the first time possibly ever in your life, things are just going to flow. Everything is going to vibe different. Everything is going to come to you differently. But if you don't trust, and if you do say that comment all the time, oh, I don't trust other people, you don't need to be dating. And that's my
Mm-mm.
opinion.
Mm-mm.
Joy Natty?
Well, you know me. I think awareness is key. Awareness. Awareness of yourself. Being aware of who you truly are. That is what matters. That's where your boundaries come. That's where you can protect yourself. That's where you know what hurts you, what doesn't hurt you, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. Um, Awareness of yourself and I think being free of judgment of what you think someone might think of who you are, free yourself of that. You know, be open, because a lot of times people move off of what society thinks you're supposed to be doing, right? Or how
Mhm.
your family might judge you, or how this one might think of you. Be truly in love with who you are, no matter what. And I think as long as we journey in love, I think we'll be good. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. Tina. Good
Hi,
old.
I'm just gonna say the same thing that Megan said, which is trust yourself and test your intuition. And if you don't believe yourself, just watch. You don't believe me, just watch. For real. Like just learn how to just gauge. The stronger, the more you test that muscle, the stronger it's gonna get. If you get that intuition that says this is not gonna happen, and you
Mm-hmm.
say, there's this girl that does a video, Christian girl, and she always says, I'm gonna see for myself. So if you gonna see for yourself, and that's okay because I also see for myself. Just remember, okay, the first time I was told if I would have followed that, I wouldn't be in this right now. But sometimes we need to see for ourselves. And so I'm going to encourage you to build that intuitive muscle to the point to where you're like, you can make the right choices and decisions. Just like I said with that one dude, I was like, okay, into it up. This ain't going to be nothing more but entertainment purposes only. If I go forward, I know it's entertainment purposes. That's on me. He can't use me because I've already made the decision and I noticed, and I ain't going to cry about it. So work that muscle, work that intuitive muscle, learn how to trust yourself, and just remember, if you're going to see for yourself, chalk it up to an experience.
Yep. Shalithia?
Well, I would say less, watch more, and you will be able to make wise decisions about people. Say
Yep.
less, say less, watch more, use your discernment. That's all I can say. I totally agree with everybody on this panel. Everything everybody said, I agree.
I'm right there with you. Like, I mean, everybody hit it on the head because it really does come down to what your instincts are for you. What's going
Yeah.
on with you? And none of us on this panel have the same kind of circumstances going on whatsoever. I mean, it is literally couldn't be, any more different. And that's the same for everybody. Like it could be two people who divorced, but one had a smooth divorce, still friends with their ex. One have a they still in court, or they got restraining orders. All these things, is whatever is going on with you is what's going on with you, and you are the expert of you. You will always be the expert of you because no one has gone through everything you've gone through but you. You have to operate there where you are. Not where you've been, not where you're going. You got to operate from where you are and make the best decision you possibly can. And every day, just get better and better, better and better and better and better. And it's going to get better once we learn more about our resources on next week.
I know it's gonna get better for me.
Do you know
Tina,
what I'm
Tina got to tell me about the resources, Tina.
saying? Because if we all know if it's something that'll
Y'all
help
want me to
everybody.
bring some resources, some
I'm
electronic
coming with
resources?
questions,
No, just
just so you know.
Yeah.
Do y'all want me to bring some
go
Rolodex
ahead, Nick.
lovers.
Yes, 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 we do. We would love a demonstration of not like that. Facebook, do not shut me down. I didn't mean it like that.
So next week we having a master class on resources.
Yeah, this week is the resource master class.
I guess I was voluntold. I shall be there. I shall be there.
Bring your tools and everything. Bring them tools and everything.
Too bad. Okay.
Got to, guys. It's free.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
On the school, it's early in the year. Talking about no resource. You're going to the resource center, and they're like, yes.
Right.
Okay, y'all, we getting off here. Thank y'all for being on here again with me, having a
Bye,
fabulous conversation.
y'all.
And we're going to see y'all next week. I'll see y'all in the chat.
All
Bye.
right.